Right, year 9. Let's go through the paper as usual. Okay, it might take me a while actually, it's a long paper. Right, you got 1 mark for turning this into a top heavy fraction. So hopefully most of you remembered how to do that. 2 times 8 is 16, plus 5 is 21. So 21 over 8. 1 times 6 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So 7 over 6. So you've got 1 mark for that. Then leave it, change it, flip it, or if you like cross multiplying, that is fine. So 21 over 8 multiplied by 6 over 7, which gave you 126 over 56. And then you can simplify now. So the biggest number that goes into both is 14. Some of you have calculators that automatically simplify for you, and that's fine as well. As you get 9 over 4, and then change that back into a mixed number, which is 2 1/4, and that's your answer. Okay, number 2. Some of you, even though we did lots and lots of practice about this, forgot how to find the midpoint. Remember, all you do is add the x values and halve it. So 1 plus 6 is 7, and then half of 7 is 3.5. So the x coordinate is 3.5. And then add the 2 y values. 4 plus 9 is 13. Halve it is 6.5. That is all you do. Add the 2 x's, halve it. Add the 2 y's, halve it. That's it. Finding the nth term, you just had to see what it went up in. So it goes up in 3s, so you know it's got something to do with the 3 times table. So it starts with 3n, and our 3 times table is 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. What am I doing each time to the 3 times table to get the numbers underneath? I'm adding 4 each time, okay? So I'm adding 4 each time, and so my final answer is 3n plus 4. Okay, question 4. So we've got to decide which shop gives more money off their normal price. I was surprised at how lazy some of you are in terms of doing your working out and writing an answer. Some of you just decided to circle the correct answer, but that's not usually enough. You do have to write it down, please. Right, let's start with shop A first. Shop A. So our normal price is 475. Get 16% off our normal price. So there's lots of different ways you could do this. I would find 16% of the normal price. So 16% as a decimal is 0. Oh, bless me. Sorry. 0.16. Sorry, I'm not going to re-record that, so you're going to hear me sneeze in this. So 0.16. And so let's do that on our calculator. 475 times 0.16, which is £76. So we're going to get £76 off. Sorry about that. We're going to get £76 off our normal price on shop A. So we've done shop A. Shop B. That's how much we're getting off there. Shop B, we're getting 15% off our normal price. Okay, it says only pay 408. So I need to find the original price actually. So this is a secret reverse. So be careful. It's not saying that that that's how much it was before, that was the normal price. It's saying after the 15% off, it is now 408. So we're going to do 408 and we're going to divide it. Now 15% off is a decrease. So we do 100%, take away 15%, which is 85%, and 85% as a decimal is 0.85, so we divide by 100. So we do 408 divided by 0.85. 0.85, and that gives us that the price was 480. So now we need to do 480 take away 408, which means we got a discount of £72. And so our answer, we've done all our working out, so we've got almost all our marks. We've got 3 marks so far, and then our last mark is shop A. So it's the answer gives more money off their normal price. Normal price. And that's what you should write as your final answer. Okay, so here we've got another reverse percentage question. And so it was an increase. So 100% plus 12% is 112%. Then we turn it into a decimal by dividing by 100 to give us 1.12. And because it's a reverse, we are going to divide. So this is the price of the adult ticket after the increase. So we want to work backwards to find the original cost. So we're going to do £18.20 divided by 1.12. And that's going to give us £16.25. So that's nice and easy. Right, here, simplifying, you should add the indices when we're multiplying. So that is g to the power of 10. 6 plus 4 is 10. When we are dividing, we subtract the indices. So we're going to do 10 take away 3. And 10 take away 3 is 7. Here you need to be careful. So because this is in brackets, we multiply the indices. And so most of you did 1 times 2. So it was 2 squared. And you did 4 times 2. So you got d to the power of 8. So most of you got that, and you got 1 mark for getting that bit. You just have to remember that you also have to square the 3. Okay, so square the normal number in there. And so 3 squared is 3 times 3, which is 9. So 9c squared d to the power of 8. Okay, inequality, we're going to solve it like we would normally. So we're going to take away 7 from both sides. So then we end up with 4x is greater than minus 5. And then we're going to divide both sides by 4. So then we end up with x is greater than minus 1.25. Or you could leave it as minus 5 quarters if you want. Either way, they will accept both. So I'll just put or x is greater than minus 5 quarters or minus 1 1/4. So that's fine. Okay, number 7 here. We need to simplify this. So first of all, I'm going to work out each separately. So I'm going to do, so remember, 2x plus 3 squared means 2x plus 3 times another 2x plus 3. I personally like using the grid. You don't have to. Some of you like using the arrows. That is okay as well. So 2x plus 3. I fill it in. 2x times 2x is 4x squared. 2x times 3 is 6x. 3 times 2x is 6x again. And 3 times 3 is 9. I can gather like terms, so these two, I can gather those to make 12x. And so my answer here is 4x squared plus 12x plus 9. Okay, now I need to work out this bit. So again, I'm going to draw a grid and I'm going to do 2x plus 3 multiplied by x minus 5. 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times minus 5 is minus 10x. 3 times x is 3x. And 3 times minus 5 is minus 15. Again, I can put like terms together. So 3x take away 10x is minus 7x. And so my answer there is 2x squared minus 7x minus 15. Now I have to be careful. I need to subtract this, okay? So I've got to be careful. The first bit is nice and easy. I'm going to do 4x squared take away 2x squared. That just leaves me with 2x squared. So that's nice and easy. Now, this is where we've got to be careful. Next, we need to do, let me use a different colour, 12x take away minus 7x. So I'm just going to write in the corner what we're doing. We're doing 12 take away minus 7. So we're adding. So subtracting a negative number is the same as adding it. So this is where some of you made a mistake. So it's plus 19x. And again on this one, be careful. We are doing 9 take away minus 15. So I'll write at the side what we're doing, 9 take away minus 15. And again, subtracting a negative number, same as adding it. So 9 plus 15 is 24. And that's your final answer. Make P the subject. Okay, so you can use, well, there's lots of different ways. A flow diagram, let's quickly just check what's happening to P. The first thing that's happening to P is it's being squared. Then it's being multiplied by 3. Because remember, indices according to BIDMAS, indices come before multiplying. So it's being squared, then multiplied by 3, and then last of all, take away 4. And that's given us, that's P going in. And that gives us Y. Now we take Y, and the first thing we're going to do is undo the take away 4 by adding 4. So I'm going to write that underneath so that you can see I'm doing it bit by bit. Y plus 4. Then I need to undo the times by 3 by dividing by 3. So in algebra, we write it like this. We're dividing the whole thing by 3. Okay? Then the last thing I'm undoing is the squaring. And the inverse of squaring is square rooting. And that will give us P. So P equals all of this square rooted. Okay? So P equals the square root of Y plus 4 over 3. Okay? Next one, so do this on your calculator. If you're not sure how to do it on your calculator, then please come and see me, because every calculator is different. Some need brackets in, some are fine without brackets, okay? But what you should have got as your calculator display is 5.42 4, 3, 8, 9, 0, and I could go on and on and on. Depends on how many figures fit on your calculator display. Okay. Then it says give it to two significant figures. So remember, we count from the first non-zero number. So the 5 counts, that's your first significant figure, and then 4 is your second significant figure. You look at the next number, less than 5, so I'm going to leave it as 5.4. If it had been 5 or more, I would have rounded up to 5.5. Okay, this is a particularly nice one. Although I have to admit, I didn't quite like the graph because it was hard to see where the times were. But I suppose there's 1, 2, 3, 4 in between it. Is there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 in between them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So there's 4 in between each one. How many minutes so this is Bavik. He left his home at 12, cycled to Sam's house. On the way, Bavik stopped for a rest, then continued his journey. Okay, so how many minutes did Bavik rest for? So we know that 4 squares make a whole hour. So, which is 60 minutes. 60 minutes divided by 4 is 15 minutes. So each square is 15 minutes, equals 15 minutes. So now we know that, we can see here that there were 2 squares, so he stopped for 30 minutes in total. Okay. Next, after his rest, how many more kilometres did Bavik cycle to Sam's house? So he went from, and again, we've got to be careful with the scale. I think it's going up in 5s. Hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it is. So, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My eyesight is not very good at the moment. So 16, 17, 18. So he stopped at 18 there, and he went on to here. Oops. I've done the wrong one, which was 39. So 39 take away 18 is 21 kilometres. Okay. Right, then it says Bavik stayed at Sam's house for 2 hours, then cycled back to his home. Okay, so let's do the horizontal bit where he stops for 2 hours. So at the moment we've got him stopping, he gets there at 2 o'clock. And so 2 hours would mean that at 4, he is going back. So have I done that right? Yeah, at 4 he's going, and then it says he then cycled back to his home. He arrived home at 5:15. Okay. So 5:15, which would be here. And so that's it. Okay, for that one. So that was quite a nice one, actually. Then it says, write down the times at which Bavik was 24 kilometres from his home. Again, you can just read it off on the graph. So 24 kilometres would be here. So there are 2 times he is 24. So here, let me highlight it. Here and here, he is 24 kilometres away from home. And so on this one, it's at 1:30. So let me just write that down. 1:30, and then on the next one it is at 4:30. Although, because of the graph, they did accept any time from 1:25 to 1:30, and then the other from 4:25 to 4:30. So that's fine. And I think some of you did put 1:25 and 4:25. That's absolutely fine. Finally, work out the average speed in kilometres per hour of Bavik's journey from Sam's house back to his home. Okay. So we know all in all it was 39 kilometres. So remember, speed equals distance divided by time. And so the distance was 39 kilometres. And the time it took, so it was from 4 o'clock till 5:15. So that was an hour and 15. What does it want it in? It wants it in kilometres per hour. So an hour and 15 minutes is an hour and 1/4, or 1.25 hours. It's up to you. You can put it as an hour and 1/4, or you could put it as 1.25. Remember, it is not the same as 1.15, okay? You need to turn those 15 minutes into a decimal, which is a quarter of an hour. Sorry, a decimal or a fraction. So grab your calculator, and we're going to do 39 divided by 1.25, which gives us 31.2 kilometres per hour. Okay, here we are changing from meters squared into centimetres squared. Now remember, there are 100 centimetres in 1 metre. And so if we were going from metres into centimetres, we would times by 100, but it's metres squared into centimetres squared, so we're going to times by 100 squared. So remember we said, okay, volume, we're going to times by 100 cubed, but in this case, so we need to do 12 times 100 squared, which gives you 120,000. Okay. Okay, this one, most of you got marks on this because you got 1 mark for just, in fact you got 2 marks for finding all the correct upper and lower bounds. So let's draw ourselves a little grid. So lower bound, upper bound. Let's do V first. So V equals 45.23 to 2 decimal places. So that means we're going to add and subtract 0.005 to get the upper and lower bound. So the lower bound is 45.225 and the upper bound is 45.235. U next, 5.12 to 2 decimal places. So we're going to add or subtract 0.05 to get the upper or lower bound. So the lower bound is 5.115 and the upper bound is 5.125. And then last of all, T equals 8.5. So that's to 1 decimal place. Even though it says 2 significant figures, that results in it being to 1 decimal place. So we're going to add or subtract 0.0. Sorry, I think I should have put another, and I've done something wrong there, haven't I? I think, so this is add or subtract, let me just this bit. So add or subtract 0.05, so that should have been 0.5. And that should have been 0.005, so apologies there. Oh no, same thing. That was fine. It was just the next one I got wrong, so that's fine. And so the lower bound is 8.45 and the upper bound is 8.55. Okay, and so you've got 2 marks for just putting all of those correctly. Then, unfortunately, this is the bit, you have got to find the lower bound of A by calculating. So if you want the lowest possible value, I need to take the lower bound of V, so I'm going to highlight it as I go along, the lower bound of V, take away the upper bound of U, divided by the upper bound of T. Remember, my aim is to make it smaller and smaller, and so you should have done, let me write it down, 4.45.225, take away 5.125, divided by 8.55. Okay, and that gives you 4.6900 ... I could go on. Now let's find the upper bound of A. Again, I'll highlight it as I go along so you can see what I had to do. So here I want the highest it could possibly be. So I'm going to take the upper bound of V, take away the smallest U and divide by the smallest T, so that I can make sure it's the biggest number possible. So that is 45.235, take away 5.115, divided by 8.45. And for that you got 1 mark for doing each of those. So far I've got 4 marks without even putting the correct answer yet. So that is 4.7479 ... Okay, so at the moment I've got 4 out of the 5 marks. The last mark is by saying that A is 4.7, and the reason is because they both answers round to 4.7, so both answers round to 4.7. Okay, so when you look at these two here, they both round to 4.7. And that's why our answer is 4.7. Okay. All right. Okay. Question 12 now. So we need to find, it says write down the value of X. And that always gives you a massive clue. If it says write down, it's usually quite straightforward. And so here we've got alternate angles. So X and 32 are exactly the same. So X equals 32 degrees, okay? You didn't have to write a reason there, but if you did, it would be alternate angles are equal. Work out the value of Y. So let's see what we can use for that. Okay, so what we've got here, I'll use a different colour. And there are different ways you could work this out. So this and this are corresponding angles, so that must be 125, And then angles on a straight line add up to 180. So we're going to do 180, take away 125, which gives us 55 degrees. Okay, and the answer is you only actually had to put one of the reasons. So for one correct reason, you didn't have to put both. So you could have put corresponding angles are equal, and that's where I got the F from. Or you could have put angles on a straight line add up to 180. Okay, so both would be fine. And to be honest, we had to do both in order to get that answer. Okay. Question 13. It says use algebra, so I'm afraid you can't get away from it. You have to use algebra. So listen very carefully, because a lot of you lost marks on this. I know it's only worth 2 marks, but it's an easy 2 marks. So we say x is 0.43838, whatever, recurring. Okay, now remember, I want the 3838, so I'm going to times it by 10. So I'm going to get 10x, and that's going to give me 4.3838 dot. What else is going to leave just the recurring bit after? So I'm going to also, because remember, the dot is only above the 3 and the 8, so that's the only bit recurring. The 4 stays. So I need to also multiply by 1,000. So I want 1,000x. And if I times by 1,000, I'm going to get 438.383838. Okay, dot. I'm going to subtract the 2. And so the recurring bit will disappear, and 438 take away 4 is going to be 434. And then 1,000 take away 10 is going to be 990x. So then x equals 434 over 990. Okay, they're both divisible by 2. So it is 217 over 495. And that's all you have to do for that one. Okay, 14. And I'm pretty sure we've done a similar question to this. So let's have a look. So number of red buttons to number blue. So we're gonna use this information first. So the number of blue to green is 1 to 2. Oops, sorry. 1 to 2. It already tells me there are 48 green buttons, so I must have multiplied by 24. I got 24 by doing 48 divided by 2. That means this must also be multiplied by 24. So that means there are 24 blue buttons. So 24 blue buttons. So then I can use this bit of information, and I can see that the number of red to blue is 5 to 3. But I now know there are 24 blue buttons. And so 24 divided by 3 is 8. And I've got to multiply the other side by 8. So that gives me 40 red buttons as my answer. Okay. Right, next one. So we've done this. We've done areas of a sector, and this was quite a nice question. So remember, to find the area of the sector, we find the area of the whole circle, which is pi times radius squared. So in this case, it's pi times 7.1 squared. But I only want a fraction of it. I don't want the whole thing because it's only a section of the circle. So I'm going to times it by 110 out of 360 degrees, okay? And so when I do that on my calculator, I end up with 48.4. And that's it for that one. Okay, number 16. So here it says the volume of a cylinder is 72 pi meters cubed. Calculate the total surface area. So in order to find the total surface area, you have to do a lot for this one actually. To find the total surface area, I need to know what the height is, okay? And I'm going to find the height from looking at the volume. So you can, obviously, if you forget, you can always go back to your formula sheet and you can see here that to find the volume of a cylinder it's pi r squared h, and to find the curved surface area is 2 pi r h. But let's deal with the volume first, so pi r squared h. So let's go back. Oops. So pi r squared h. So we know that pi times 3 squared times h equals 72 pi. Let's tidy it up a bit. 3 squared is 9, so 9 pi h equals 72 pi. I'm going to divide both sides by 9 pi. So divide by 9 pi on both sides. So that gets rid of it here. And what I end up with, and the pi's will cancel out. And so what I get is that h equals 72 divided by 9, which is 8. So the height is 8. Okay. Now that I know what the height is, I can go back, and again, you can see here we highlighted it, and you can see here that to find the curved surface area is 2 pi r h. The only thing you should be careful of is remember that just gives you this bit that curves round. You also need to add on the 2 circles. So 2 pi times r times h, which is 8 in this case, plus you've got 2 circles. So the area of a circle, remember, is pi r squared. So 2 pi times 3 squared, okay? So you need 2 of those, add on 2 of those circles. And if you do it on the calculator, I'll do it as well. And it said 3 significant figures. So if you do it on the calculator, I would put brackets around this bit, brackets around this bit if you want to do it in one go. So 2 pi times 3 times 8 plus 2 pi times 3 squared, and that gives you 207.345 ... But it only said 3 significant figures, so we only want 1, 2, 3 significant figures. cut it off here. The next number is less than 5, so we leave it as it is, so it's 207 meters squared. Right, factorising. So the highest common factor, the biggest number that goes into 15 and 20 is 5. So I take 5 out, and I can take a y cubed out, okay? So 15 divided by 5 is 3. 20 divided by 5 is 4. I took out a y cubed, so that's gone. And this is reduced to just 1y. And so inside the brackets, I'm going to put 3y plus 4u. And that's it. I've fully factorised it. Okay. Next one, solving. To solve this, I'm going to get rid of the 4 here in the denominator by timesing by 4. They cancel out. But I must do the same here, so I'm going to times that by 4. And I get 16 take away 12x equals 5 take away 8x. I am going to, I think, keep all my x's on the left-hand side. So I'm going to add 8x to both sides, which is the opposite of taking away 8x. So that gets rid of it there. And what I'm left with here is 16 take away 4x equals 5. And then I'm going to take away 16 from both sides. And so I get minus 4x equals 5 take away 16 is minus 11. Minus 11. And then I'm going to divide by minus 4 to get that x is 11 quarters, or we can write 2.75, or we could even write 2 3/4. Okay, all are fine as a final answer. Solve the simultaneous equations. Right, none of the coefficients match, and so if you want to make the x's match, you need to times this whole thing by 4. If you wanted to make the y coefficients match, then you should have times it all by 3, but I'm going to just make the x's match. So the top equation now becomes 4x plus 8y equals 60. The second equation stays the same. Now remember, stop. If they are the same, we take away. Oops, sorry, I can't spell. Take it away. If they're opposites, the signs are opposite, we're going to plus, okay? So always think stop when you're doing your simultaneous equations. The signs are the same. They are both, if you look at them, they are both positive. So we are going to take away. We're going to subtract. Just another word for subtract. So then just be careful. 8 take away minus 6 is 14y. Okay, because we're doing 8 take away minus 6. And so subtracting a negative number makes it add. Equals 60 take away 4, which is 56. And then we divide both sides by 14 to give that y equals 4. Okay, so we've got y equals 4. Then we're going to substitute back into any of the equations. I think I'm going to subtract back into the original one here. And I'm going to write x plus 2 times y, in this case y is 4, equals 15. So x plus 8, 2 times 4 is 8, equals 15. I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides to get that x equals 7. Okay. If you did it the other way by making the y's the same and you're not sure where you've gone wrong, then come and talk to me. Okay, factorising. So you start off by doing 2 times 6, which is 12. And we're looking for two numbers that multiply to make 12, but add to make minus 7. And we've got minus 4 and minus 3. Okay, so then I rewrite it. So 2x squared minus 4x minus 3x plus 6. So all I've done is split the minus 7x into these two numbers. Squiggly line, and I factorise each side. So on this side, 2x comes out and it's x minus 2. Take away, 3 comes out and it's x minus 2 again. I know I'm doing it right because these two match. And so my final answer is I write the two outside the brackets together. So 2x minus 3, and then the repeated bracket I write down x minus 2. And that's it. I have factorised that. This one was quite a nice one. It was a straightforward trig question. They wanted you to find x, so let's label the sides. This is the hypotenuse. This is the adjacent. The opposite is here, but we have no information on it, so we're not going to use it, which means that we're going to use ka out of our SOHCAHTOA. Okay? Now, remember I told you probably the easiest thing to do is to cover up what we're trying to find, which is the adjacent, so cover it up. And you can see that the ka and the cos and the hypotenuse are next to each other, so we're going to multiply. And so we're going to do cos 42 multiplied by 9.5. And that gives us an answer of 7.1 when we put it on our calculator to 1 decimal place. Okay. Next one, this was lovely. Find the equation of the straight line. You need two things for the equation of this straight line. You need the gradient and you need the y-intercept. So the gradient, we find 2 points that we can easily count to. So let's look at this. So how many squares across is it? It's just 1. Yeah, so it goes from 1 to 2. And then up, we need to be careful, it goes from 1 to 4, so 3. So the gradient is 3 divided by 1, which is just 3. And then we look at where it crosses the y-axis, which is minus 2. So our final answer then is y equals 3x take away 2. And that's all we need for that one. Right, almost there. For this one, we've got to write it in standard form. So the quickest way is to, on your calculator, work out 5.2 times 7.1. I'll just calculate it now. So 5.2 times 7.1, and you get 36.92. And then work out what 10 to the power 4 times 10 to the power 3 is. Remember, when we're multiplying, we add the indices. So 4 plus 3 is 7. So times 10 to the power 7. The only thing is you get 1 mark for that, but it's not in standard form at the moment. I need to move the decimal point 1 place here so that it becomes 3.692. And then, because I've moved the decimal point, I need to add on 1 more to the indices here. So it's times 10 to the power of 8. Okay. LCM of 75 and 90. It's up to you how you did it. You could do the 75 times table, 75, 150, 200, no, it's 300 and, no, 225, 300, so on. Did a 90 times table, 90, 180, 270, 360, still not matching, 450, so we carry on here, and then 450, so it matches here. So the answer is 450. You could have also used your prime factor trees if you want, so I'll quickly do it now so that we don't waste time. So that should be a 3 times 25, 5 times 5, then 90, we've got 3 times 30, 6 times 5, and 2 times 3. Draw your Venn diagram at 75, 90. There's a 3 that goes in the middle. There's a 5 that goes in the middle. A 5 left over here, and a 2 and a 3 left over here. And so remember the LCM, you multiply all the numbers in the Venn diagram. If we were just finding the HCF, the highest common factor, we would just multiply the numbers in the middle. So you need to, on your calculator, do 2 times 3 times 3 times 5 times 5. And you would find that that indeed gives you 450. So that's fine. Right, is this the last one? Yeah, this is the last question. Right, so we want to work out the area of the triangle. So in order to work out the area of the triangle, until you have, you do advanced trig and we know some of the angles, the only thing we can do is we need the height and we need the base, which we have, so that's fine. Now, to find the height, we're going to use Pythagoras. So we're going to look at a right angled triangle here. So I've got a right angled triangle here. Because it's isosceles, when we split it, it's directly in half, so that's 4. And so all we have to do, remember you're trying to find one of the shorter sides, so we're going to subtract. It's 8.5 squared, take away 4 squared. Oops. Take away 4 squared, and we're going to square root that. That is going to give us our height, okay? So let's do that on the calculator. 8.5 squared, take away 4 squared. And that gives us 7.5. So the height is 7.5. And then all we need to do is, we know that the area of a triangle is base times height, and then halve it. So base, which is 8, times height, which is 7.5, and then halve it. So 8 times 7.5, 60, divided by 2 is 30. And so you should get an answer of 30 centimetres squared. And that is the end.